Okay, I'm Chris, and I'm going to be reviewing my BE1500 final project. So this data is based off of 2011 university data. Alright, so let's just get right into it. So I'm going to start with the main script, where the first thing that the user is going to see is a menu that asks them if they want to learn about the data. And if they say yes, then they're brought into a while loop right here. And then when they're brought into the while loop, the next thing they're going to see is a menu where it asks the 4 questions about does a high world ranking, the top 10 world ranking universities compared to also having a higher percentage of male students, or which country has the most universities highest rated in teaching, above 80%, and do the universities with high percentage of female students above 50% have a high total score of 85%, over or greater than 85%, and is a higher total score university greater or equal to 85% have a higher percentage of international students. Alright, so when you click the first question, you're going to go to the choice 1 in the while loop. So first you want to make your variables that we're going to use for the function we're going to call. So B and D are the inputs that we're going to be using in the function. Okay, I'm sorry about that. And B is for female students, and D is for non-students. So then you call the function, and I'll show you what the function is. Okay, so the function has the inputs B and D that we get from the main script, and our outputs are M and F, M for male, F for female. So we use a for loop and a nested for loop to index all the data within B and D. Within B, because B is the number or the percentage of female students, and you want to find the number of males. So this is the calculations to find male, the exact number of males and exact number of females, not percentages. So when we get M and F, then we use it and we bring it back. We go back to the main script, and then it's gonna ask how you it's gonna have 3 options of how you want to view the data. So that's in a switch case, as you can see right here. So case 1 is just an fprintf of the ranking, university name, number of males at the universities, and number of females at the university. Case 2 is a bar graph comparing the number of males at each university. And case 3 is multiple pie charts of each top 10 universities, male versus females. So I will run the script later so you can see the outputs, but so you know what it will look like. Alright, so then if you click question 2, this one compares the teaching ratings in the countries. So we gotta set our variables again, as we did for the last question. So country equals, you can see here. And now we call the function, which I will bring up, show you, and I'll explain. So obviously, again, here is our inputs that we use, that we defined in the main script. And then here are our outputs. Alright, so then we use a for loop and within an if else statement, or just an if statement here, to index the data within teaching rating, and all the teaching ratings that are equal and greater than to 85 And then it also displays all the countries that go with all the teaching ratings that are equivalent or greater than to 85. So once we get that data, we use that and we find then we create a table which displays the countries, and then we create a pie chart that compares the countries' teaching ratings and which countries have the most universities with the high teaching rating. All right, so now we'll go back to our third question, which is right here in the while loop. Yeah, we're maintaining the while loop within the whole main script. All right, so then we're defining our variables for our next function, and then we're calling the function. So here it is. Here's the function number 3. C1 is equivalent to total score with zeros, and C2 is total score without zeros. C3 is university names, and C4 is percentage of females. All right, so we're going to use a for loop, a nested for loop, and an if statement. So this really indexes everything. This indexes this creates all the C1, C2, C3, C4 variables you see here. So it finds the equivalent. First, it will go through and it goes through the total score first. All the total score rankings that are above or greater than 85. And then based off of that information, we find all the university names. And then based off of the first information of total score, again, we find the percentage of females. So this is what this whole loop is doing. This whole function is doing. So once we find all these variables, we go back to the main script. And then it creates a scatter plot of it creates the scatter. Okay, ignore that. I'm sorry. Oops, I'm sorry. I don't know how to get rid of that. Okay, so it creates a scatter plot and of the percentage of females, and then it does a curve fitting for it as well. And then also the scatter plot also shows world ranking. All right. It's a world ranking versus percentage of females, and then there's a curve fitting for it. And then for our last question, it compares international students and total score. Then we brought in the function we used for question 1 just to add more data to it. So we have so the data relies on, so the function that we use for 4 relies on the function we use for 1. So it's like a function within a function that we use. All right, so we call the data right here, as you can see. I don't know why. Okay, as you can see right here. And this is the function. So what it's doing here is, again, it's indexing and finding everything that's greater than 85 and displaying it. And then we go back to the main script and it creates a table. It's a really nice table that displays total score, number of international students, males and females. All right, so then we're going to run the script and show you all of the results. Make sure you import the top universities before you start. So again, here's starting the while loop. Once you push no, it will break the entire program and you'll be no longer running it. So yes, we'll start with the first question. Which data would you like to view? We're going to do the first, let me bring down the command window. here is the first set of data, and we use that to look at the bar graph, which is right here. So as you see, it's all numbers, but you use the data that you look at first to determine which is which. There was missing values in our data, so this will be missing for Harvard. And then this is one of the most interesting data sets. This is all of the female, and I'm sorry, this is the wrong, well, this is actually question 3, the world ranking versus percentage of female. This is a trend line and the scatter plot, so you see, so that's kind of interesting, and this is the curve fitting. And then, would you like to see more data? And you type in yes or Y. All right, and then we'll go back to the question 1, and then we'll see the pie charts of all the universities. So as you can see, I'm going to zoom up. California, Stanford, Cambridge, Berkeley, all that. You can see male is red, female is gray. All right, and then we'll do the second. All right, so this is just all loading here. All right, so this is the second question, comparing countries and total rankings, teaching ratings, I'm sorry. So these were the only countries whose teaching ratings were above 85%, so that's why there's only 2. If there was more, there would have been more. All right, and then we want to say yes, we want to see more data, and then we'll go to, since I accidentally clicked on the third, we'll go to the last question, which is comparing international students and total high score universities. And here it is. It's a very big table because there's a lot of universities whose total score is above 85, but you can see right here. So that was really interesting. And push cancel to break the while loop, and now you're done running your function, and that's it. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it was helpful.